Hey there, how's it going? This is James Tripp. This is a video for James Tripp on YouTube. I'm going to call this video Get Stuff Done in 2025. And the reason for that is it's the first of the year, 2025. Insane for me, a quarter of a century into the 21st century. When I was a kid growing up in the early 80s, I used to buy 2000 AD comic, it was called 2000 AD because that was the representative date of the future. It seems so far in the future, the year 2000, and here we are a quarter of a century in. And of course, there's that strange thing that people do at the beginning of the year. Maybe it's not strange. I don't know why it is, but everybody does it. Maybe it's cultural, maybe there's other reasons. But we kind of take stock. We look at the previous year. It seems sometimes to have gone by super fast. And oftentimes we think, do you know what? I didn't achieve the things I wanted to achieve, or I didn't feel like I progressed my life, or I've ended up sometimes we feel we've ended up in a worse place than perhaps we were at the beginning of the year, and we vow to make this year different. This year, I'm going to make the differences I want to make. I'm going to get things done. Maybe I'm going to upgrade my health. Maybe I'm going to upgrade my wealth. I'm going to create those things that I've wanted to create for so long. We start out the new year, and oftentimes with this New Year's resolution business, that's not what I'm talking about here, New Year's resolutions, but people can often end up falling off the path, okay? So the question is, what is it that needs to happen to get the things done we want to get done? Now, I would love to give you an easy answer to this. In fact, I've just recorded a podcast for Agents of Everything. I recommend you check that out because I'm going to go into way more depth, way more detail there. You can find that on the Agents of Everything Substack. I'll put a link perhaps in the description, perhaps in the comments. But essentially, the reason that it's so difficult for us to get things done is because there isn't just one of us. Okay, there isn't just an I and what I want. The way we work as human beings is that we are multifaceted. There are many aspects of self. There's an I that might sincerely show up and be fully activated and say, do you know what I want? I want to create incredible health. I want to create strength. I want to create vitality. And for that reason, this year, I'm going to eat, a whole food diet. I'm going to do this particular way of training my body, training my energy. We might be all on board for that because that aspect of self is sat front and center up at the front. But there's all the other aspects of who we are. Maybe there's another aspect of self that enjoys peace and comfort and being in the moment. And maybe that aspect of self finds a release for that or a channel to that through eating less good food, through perhaps not going out to the gym, this kind of thing. Okay, so we end up with this kind of ambivalence. A part of me wants to do this and a part of me wants to do that. Now, this is a really important thing to understand. This is how we work. There is no unitary I. So the question is, when we have conflicting aspects of self that want conflicting things, 1 minute one's in the driving seat and we feel all good to go, and then the next minute the other is in the driving seat for whatever reason. How do we manage this? How do we transcend these ambivalences? How do we align our motivations? That's what I'm talking about in the Substack. And I don't want to just be here doing an advert for the Substack. There isn't an easy solution for this. There is a set of skills to develop. There is an awareness to develop. And it comes back to this idea, this ancient piece of wisdom inscribed above the doorway at the Temple of Apollo: know thyself. So what does it mean to know thyself? What I would suggest, it doesn't mean knowing who you are, what kind of a person you are. It's recognizing there isn't a unitary you. There's all these different aspects of self, all these different neural networks that can light up and be in ascendancy at different times. They pull our consciousness into them. And we feel like this is who we are, what we are. But if we don't understand that this is how we work, we can sometimes wonder at our own inconsistencies and go, what's wrong with me? I keep doing this when I know that I want this. I can't make sense of my self-defeating behaviors. What we want to be able to do is look at ourselves and develop a part of self that can look at all other parts of self. Know thyself. Become a better witness to our own processes. So in the Agents of Everything episode, which I strongly recommend you check out, I'm talking about how we do that, how we identify the different parts of self that want different things, and how we can work with those parts. We don't ever get to be in one part that takes charge and dominates all the rest. but we can develop an aspect of self, a higher self, a wiser self, an I that chooses, that can mediate and bring those conflicting parts into a community which is aligned around generally creating good things in our life, good things, rewarding things, things that we can value for ourselves and people who are important to us. There's inner work that we can do to align ourselves. I think people come a cropper when they don't understand this. So they have a low level of consciousness for when they're being pulled into one part or another. And then, they end up in another part that judges that and says, what's wrong with me? Or I'm no good. I can't follow through with things or whatever. It's just a lack of self-knowledge. And that isn't said in a way that judges anyone or says you should have that self-knowledge. Nobody has it until they cultivate it. Okay? So my message here is if you want to get stuff done in 2021, if you want to transform how you show up, how you engage with the world, you absolutely can. Will that be an easy piece of work? It might not be an easy piece of work. It might be a piece of work that you would have to be aligned with in the first place. You'd have to have some commitment. And this is why I very much value, I was thinking of doing a video, I have the title up on the board there, of self-help versus therapy, and why self-help beats therapy. Now, that's a prejudice on my part, but I really value becoming better witnesses to our own processes and developing a self that can sit apart from all the other aspects of self and be wise in facilitating sort of deeper levels of integration. All right, then we become better at creating good things in our lives for ourselves, the people who are important to us. So I just want to say in this video that if in the past you have gone, right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then you found yourself losing focus, you found yourself off the path, you found yourself doing things completely contradictory, or life has come along and just blown all that out, distracted you, you've ended up firefighting and reacting rather than being proactive and creative. If that is a thing that has happened for you before in the past, it is not at all inevitable that it will happen for you in the future. You can upgrade your engagement with things, you can upgrade your own understanding of yourself, what's possible for you, what's possible for us as human beings. You can become a better witness to your own processes, and you can develop higher levels of, you could say personal mastery, but you could develop higher levels of wisdom around how you work and how to best align all the different aspects of self towards good outcomes. All right? You will never control yourself. Wisdom has got nothing to do with control. There is no control to be had in the world of complexity, but there are good choices to be made. And once you start to be able to see those choices with clarity, then you're in a much, much stronger position to create the things that you want to create. Now, one last thing I'll say to sign off here. I just want this to be a positive message for you. I just want this to be a message to your inner mind, your deeper mind, that there is so much that is possible for you that goes beyond what you have known. The intention of this isn't to deliver you. Here's a quick fix. Here's something that you can specifically do. I just want to open the pathway here. You can check out Agents of Everything. I go into this in a lot more detail rather than just giving this top high-end message. The title of the episode there is episode 30. It's Transcending Ambivalence and Aligning Motivation. So check that out. But I do want to, and I'm not making 100% commitment to this, all right? Because we're all faced with the challenge of where do we place our time and attention. It's been a long time since I've had a lot of time and attention on YouTube. It's been a long time since I've been clear about what I wanted to create through making YouTube videos. So I haven't been doing that. I've been doing other things. I might get back to doing a lot more YouTube in 2025. We shall see. But if you were to be asking me questions about things, particularly things to do with self-mastery, and of course the other thing that I talk about here is hypnosis and change work, neuro-linguistics, that kind of thing. You got questions about any of this stuff, if you ask them, if you stimulate my interest and my excitement, I'm much more likely to make videos. But I think there's a fair chance I'll be making more videos here anyway, because I'm starting to reconnect with some vision for doing this. All right, that's all I'm going to say right now. Have a fantastic 2025. I hope that we get to engage with each other a lot. I hope that I'm able to create things that you can make use of in creating what you want to create in your life.